After you figured out what you're using for a sub-road bed, it's time to think about the road bed that the track will actually be mounted up on top of. Now, if you're modeling an industrial area or perhaps a yard where the track is supposed to be laid directly on the ground, you probably won't need any road bed at all. But by and large, any main lines, any short lines will have road bed material underneath the track. And there's a lot of different materials that you can use for road bed. If you want to do a search on the internet, you can find that throughout the last dozen decades, model railroaders have been using all kinds of material for roadbed material. And we'll look at some of the most popular ones here. And it's important to know that the roadbed material I'm about to show you will work just fine on plywood, or if you're using pink extruded foam as your sub-roadbed, it'll work just fine on that too. You just need to think about what kind of adhesive you're going to use to lay it down with. Now, you may not need roadbed at all if you decide to use sectional track. Four manufacturers make sectional track that has the track actually molded onto a piece of roadbed. Atlas makes it, Bachmann makes it, Pico makes it, and this happens to be Cado Unitrack. The track will snap together and make a very nice joint. And again, it's already on the roadbed, so if you're building a layout that may not be permanent, or you're building a layout where you want to just put some trains and run some trains on the carpet, this is the perfect solution for you. But if you are building a more permanent layout, again, you'll need some sort of roadbed. Perhaps the oldest and still one of the more popular roadbeds available today is a product called HomaSoat. This is a compressed paper product that's used in the building industry for roofing, and it's used especially for sound deadening. And again, this is paper. It's gray because it's recycled paper, and the ink in the recycled paper will tend to make it gray. It usually comes in half-inch thick sheets in 4x4, 4x8. You can order the sheets from many home centers. Many home centers stock it. If they don't stock it, they can probably special order it for you. HomaSoat is a great sound deadening material for roadbed, so that you can have a track mounted to the top of this, and it's very, very, very quiet. It also holds spikes extremely well. So if you're hand laying your track or you're using spikes to lay flex track, when you pop those spikes into the HomaSoat, it will grip them very nicely. One of the big downsides of HomaSoat is the fact that it is extremely messy to work with. This is about a 2-foot section that I cut off a sheet of HomaSoat. This picture here will show you the amount of dust that was generated from just this 2-foot cut. I took a portable table saw out to the driveway and cut this thing, and you basically have a snow flurry of paper dust. It's not very pleasant to work with. But thankfully, a manufacturer named California Roadbed has come up with a solution for that, and that is a product that they make called HomaBed. This is made out of HomaSoat. It comes in preformed sections. It also has a bevel on it for a nice roadbed angle of repose of your ballast. It comes in 45-degree and 60-degree angles. A 60-degree angle is a little bit more prototypical for angle of repose. The manufacturer, California Roadbed, makes turnout pads. They make straight sections. They make all kinds of different variants for whatever you're using for your model railroad. These particular pieces here have kerfs cut into them, and which makes it ideal for bending around curves. So you can glue this down, nail it down, however you put it down to your thing, to your sub-road bed, and it will hold a curve very nicely. And you can be pretty versatile with that. That is HomaSoat and HomaBed. Those have been around almost since the beginning of model railroading. One of the more recent pieces of roadbed that you can buy comes from Woodland Scenics, and this is foam. It's called Trackbed. That's their brand name for it. This is a 1/4-inch piece of foam. It has a split down the middle just like Cork does, and we'll talk about Cork in a second. And it's also got a nice bevel on the sides so that your ballast has a nice angle of repose on it. This you would lay down exactly the same way as you'd lay down Cork, except that you'd use Woodland Scenic's foam glue to adhere it to your extruded foam or to your plywood sub-roadbed. One of the advantages of this is it's readily available at hobby stores. It comes in either sections this long or rolls. It's very versatile, it's very economical, and it's also very, very quiet because it's foam. Also, if you have a little bit of irregularity in your sub-roadbed, you have some screws, say, popping up or some pieces of wood, because it's foam, it will kind of compensate for that. One of the downsides of this kind of roadbed is the fact that it's foam. And so if you have happen to have a bend in your track a little bit or some sort of irregularity of the track, because it's foam, it's not going to supply a very stable base for that track. But very good product, and again, it's very, very quiet. But perhaps one of the most popular, if not the most popular method of having roadbed on your model railroad is by using cork strips. This is made by Midwest Products. It's a cork strip that comes in a 3-foot section. It's split down the center so that you can literally just pull it apart, and you've got a nice angle on either side for your ballast. Cork can be put down with caulk or nails or glue. If you're modeling an industrial area where perhaps the track again is supposed to look like it's mounted directly on the ground, Midwest Products also makes sheets of cork that you can lay your track directly on. So those are some of the considerations you need to take into account when you're laying your roadbed and making those decisions for your model railroad layout.